Happy blissful day, Master Manifestors, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Gabriel.
And my name is Kylie.
And as always, you are a master manifester. Everything and anything that you desire is already within you. Your job is just to accept that you have it right now. And it will reflect in your 3D, whether you like it or love it. Isn't it wonderful?
Too wonderful.
Absolutely. And in today's video, we want to share what happened to my beautiful wifey Kylie when I was busy manifesting her. So just a quick, overview. Before I manifested my beautiful wifey, I was single for a year. And when I was finally ready, I wrote down exactly what I wanted to, in a woman, in a wife, and I accepted. It's a done deal. I am now blissfully married, right? So I never knew Kylie because I was single. But when I was finally ready, I was like, okay, cool. This is what I want in a woman. This is what I want in a wife. And then boom, wrote it down and accepted that it is a done deal. But now Kylie is going to share what transpired in her life during that time.
Yeah, and I think it's so important just before we start to share, or I start to share, because a lot of people, they'll say like, I don't see anything happening in my 3D. Like nothing's happening, nothing's changing. And I think that's where kind of the inspiration for this video comes from, because Gabriel didn't see anything change in his 3D. But my whole life started to change in accordance with who he was becoming. He was becoming the blissfully married man, and therefore I was that perfect match for what he had written down. And therefore my life started to shift for us to meet, to fall in love, to get married, and so on and so forth. So like Gabriel said, so it was in January that you started the process, ne? And so in January, I'd been seeing somebody for not very long, like a couple months. So it wasn't serious, but in January, the relationship ended. And it ended very suddenly, very abruptly, not so pleasant. And I was just like, Aish, man, like, why another one? Another failed relationship? Like, what's going on here? Like, it was so sudden, just out of the blue, But looking back, obviously, I know why. Then I think I would say the following month is when, I was like, all right, it's fine. Come Feb, I was like, just, I was focusing on my studies, building new friendships. And one of those people, became, I would say, a decent friend. We would chat sometimes, catch up. I thought, okay, that's cool. This is a nice person. Fast forward a few months later, this friend of mine invited me to come out with them. He said, hey, we're all going out. I know you're on break from your studies. If you want to come out, let's go. So I said, okay, sure, yeah, let's, I've never been to this place before. I've never really hung out with this person and his friends. So I thought, yeah, like, I want to make new friends, meet new people. Let's do it. And so we go out. And like I said, it's the first time I've ever went out with this friend and their friends. The first time I ever went to the restaurant. And it just so happened to be the very place that Gabriel decided to go to that evening. Even though he had said before he did not want to go. He didn't feel like going out that night. And even myself, that evening, I was already in bed, had my Netflix going. I was ready to, just have a nice chill night in. And something just told me, but I think you should go. This is a great way to, meet new people. Make new friends. And I thought, okay, cool, let's do it, like, let's just have it's still a chilled night out. It wasn't clubbing or anything like that. It was just, let's go for dinner, nice live music. I thought, okay, cool. And then, like I said, later that evening, we met. Sparks flew.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
Yeah. And I like what you shared as well, when we decide that whatever you trying to manifest, and you accept that you have it in the 4D, And sometimes it may seem that nothing is happening in the 3D. And you're like, whoa, man, I don't see any movement, nothing is happening and stuff like that. And obviously that may throw some people off and like, and then they just jump to the next tool, technique, method, and they're like, this stuff doesn't work. But however, it's very important for us to understand that consciousness is the only reality. In other words, your imagination is the real reality. What we are perceiving with our eyes is only a reflection of the imagination. It's a reflection of consciousness. So in other words, this is a mirror, right? It's a mirror. It's only reflecting what you accepting in your mind. So if you are looking at the 3D for evidences of movement and stuff like that, you're actually telling yourself that you do not have it. So I'll share with you guys, when I manifested this beautiful one, I accepted that I was already blissfully married. And I knew it was a done deal. Why? Because my imagination is the real world. And I know I always share this. I would go for walks on the beach, look at the sunset, go hiking, go to restaurants, all on my own, one man, alone. And then when she would come to my mind, and then I would take that moment to actually fulfill myself in my imagination. So for example, if I was basically just on my way to go and see this beautiful sunset, and if Kylie came, okay, well, I never knew you were Kylie, your name was Kylie at the time. I knew that you were my wife though. But when my wife came to my mind, I expressed my gratitude for her and the beautiful sunset. And I would always say, isn't this amazing? This is the most beautiful sunset I've ever witnessed. Look at that, baby. Look at it. Isn't it wonderful? And then I would hear and see her say the same thing. I'm like, oh, jeez, this is freaking incredible. So I would do that with everything that would happen in my life, whether that's going to the restaurant, hiking, going for walks, and listening to music. I would always just take that moment to express my gratitude that it is a done deal. So I didn't care about the 3D because I knew that the 3D is a mirror. I knew that the only thing that I had to do was to accept that it's already a done deal in the 4D. And by me accepting and reminding myself that it's a done deal, I did that for about, say, 3.5 months. And then within 3.5 months, something just told me, go to, because it's like one of my favorite restaurants. And I didn't want it to go because there's a friend of mine that usually plays, and he like plays deep house music, but he wasn't playing that week. And I was like, nah, man, I don't want to go. But then it's something that's just like, that something is my God self. It was like, yo, just go, man, just go. And then I was like, nah, man, I don't want to go. And then afterwards I said, you know what, I'm going to go. And then I ended up going. They played jazz at the restaurant. And the other DJ, he played okay, not bad. But then I met this beautiful woman. And the most amazing thing is, I knew that she was my wife because of the list that I had. She actually met all the requirements on my list and more. So I won the lottery and the jackpot. Isn't that wonderful? Right, people? So, but it's so amazing that while I was doing this, accepting that it's a done deal, her life dramatically changed.
I'd say everything in my life started to, shift. Like I said, I became single. Had we met earlier, I would have either been still in a relationship or been like, hey, you know what? I just got out of a relationship. It's not the right timing, But it was just that enough time where, once you get out of something, then you need that time to process, to heal, to grow, to learn to, reflect. And then you're ready to step into something new. And that's what I think is so beautiful about the timing of when we met. And like I said, the one friend that I went out with, it's the only time we've ever gone out to hang out in town or anything like that. And it's just like, oh, that's why I had to meet that person. Because that one person invited me out that one time for me to meet Gabriel. And so I love that. And I do think, like I said, when it came to that season of my life, I started studying in that kind of the 3 months, essentially. I had finished the first quarter. I just happened to be on break. I wouldn't have gone out. It was a Tuesday evening, so I wouldn't have gone out on a Tuesday if I had still been studying. I just happened to be on break. Like, when we've reflected back, there's so many things that keep coming up. We're like, oh, and that. Oh, I remember, and that. Like, even the small things that I think, even before all of this stuff, like the first time Gabriel went to Canada was the first time I came to South Africa. The second time Gabriel went to Canada was my second time coming to SA. Like, it just, there's these little things in our lives. It's just kind of like play a part, you know? And that was also a huge deal for me when we met Gabriel. I said, oh yeah, I'm from Canada, just outside Toronto. And he's like, oh, I've been there. And I was like, really? Like, I know other Canadians can relate. Usually when you tell people like, oh, I'm from Canada, they're like, oh, I've always wanted to go to America. And you're like, it's not the same thing, but it's close, I guess. But even that small factor, I was like, okay. And the friend that I went out with also happened to know Gabriel. And so it made me like, okay, this isn't just a random person. This is like, if my friend knows you, then you can't be that bad of a person. I'll give you a shot, you know? Like, all these little things
bridges
that come together.
of events that actually led to the grand finale.
And you didn't know any of it.
And
that's
not
what I loved, you know? It was just this thing of the 3D is changing and conforming even if we cannot see it. Even for me, you know, like my world was changing and I could see my 3D changing and I didn't know why. And then looking back, I'm like, that's why all this happened. And so even sometimes when we do see our 3D changing, and even if it may be undesirable, like I said, at the end of my previous relationship, but it turned out for something so beautiful and so much better. So it wasn't something for me to like get upset with the 3D or to react to it, or, you know, it's like, okay, this has to be working out for some type of positive. Like, that's kind of, I guess, well, we always say endless bliss. But that new outlook to say, okay, even if I do see things happening in the 3D, it's for my benefit, for bliss, for a bridge of events that's going to lead to my desire happening, whether it's seemingly bad in the moment or if it's seemingly amazing.
Yeah, it's just so beautiful, because some of you guys may, you know, you probably even ask, you know, questions like, how was I so confident and in that the 4D is my real reality, or my imagination is my real reality.
Not to get triggered by the 3D.
Yeah, it's because I've tested it myself. I mean, I've even written a book, and it's very straight to the point, very simple, that you can also test that your imagination is God. You can find all the details in the description. But the reason why the moment I was clear in what I wanted, I accepted that I am the blissfully married man. I was like, it's a done deal. And then every day I just reminded myself that it's a done deal. And then before you know it, boom, my beautiful manifestation showed up in my reality. And it was so awesome, as Kylie just shared, that, you know, all these bridges of events that actually led to the grand finale. I knew that Batman won. Batman won, but I didn't know how he won. And when I saw how Batman won, it was freaking amazing. It amazed me. So I knew I already was married to my wife in my imagination. In the real world, I knew it's a done deal. But to see how it unfolded, I was like, oh, shiz. This is nice. This is freaking awesome. It was like, just, you know, all of these things, as she just mentioned. I was like, I didn't want it to go to the restaurant at that time, but then my God self was like, yo, go, bro, go, man, just go.
That
just go, man.
That I didn't want to go either, but he had something to say, like, just go. And like, I also, like, I was given like a 10-minute heads up. I was in bed watching Netflix. He said, okay, cool, I'll pick you up in 10 minutes. So I'm running around trying to get myself ready.
Wow. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And now I want to share this with you. Everything that I experienced in my imagination before I met this beautiful woman, we are now enjoying and experiencing it on a daily basis. The beautiful sunsets, hiking, the awesome deep conversations, going to restaurants and cheersing to endless bliss, having belly laughs, really appreciating each other, experiencing each other. It's just a beautiful experience.
I mean, you really are the blissfully married man.
Yes,
in the 3D and the 4D.
yes. Give yourself a round of applause. I'm so grateful because I've never experienced anything like this before. Anything, and it's just so awesome. Like every night before we go to bed, we're just expressing our gratitude for this beautiful experience that we both have. That's getting better all the time. Every time when we wake up, we do the same thing during the day. It's just so awesome, man. And it's just getting better and better and better and better. Now, the reason why it gets better and better and better is because we are infinite, limitless beings. And so now the infinite, limitless part of us, gives the human experience bits and bobs every day. And like I said, experience it. It's
a little bit bigger, better taste,
and it's just getting better. It's just getting better because it's infinite and it's limitless. It's infinite and it's limitless. So I'm so grateful to my God self, to Source, for making this happen, because I knew that it was already a done deal, but to actually experience it in the 3D is freaking amazing.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's freaking amazing.
I'm so grateful that like you didn't allow the 3D to throw you off. You didn't look to the 3D after month 1 and say, well, where's my wife? Or after month 2 or after month 3. You were just like, no, I'm blissfully married. Done deal. And then boom. Even within the first 2 weeks, I would say, you told me that I was your wife.
Yeah, first 2 weeks I said, you're my wife.
In the first month we went ring shopping.
Yeah, first month we went ring shopping. And then the second month I bought the ring.
And you asked for my parents' blessing, and everything just happened because
so quick
and effortlessly, because you had already become the blissfully married person
in the real world.
Yes.
So now it was just
what was playing
reflecting. It was just playing out. It was just reflecting. So we just wanted to share for anyone that wants to manifest true love, their partner, marriage, a relationship. We just want to let you know that if you can see and experience it right now in your mind, in your imagination, it's a done deal. So do not settle for less. Remember, you came here to experience heaven on earth, to have the best of the best. So you do not want to second guess yourself, and also you deserve the best of the best. I mean, both of us never experienced what we have now, so we like the perfect examples.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't conform to the 3D. Don't allow the 3D to bully you or to show you things that are undesirable. Just keep going on, because you know what's actually true, and that's whatever you perceive in imagination.
Indeed. And having said that, just want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. And if you do need help with coaching to maybe help you with manifesting your true love, abundance, whatever it is, you can find all the details in the description below. And having said that, thank you.